Have you ever seen a job like this? 3 months ago, it was hiring. 1 month ago, it was still hiring. You applied once. Nothing happened. No reply. No rejection. Not even the polite little email that says, we went with someone else. So you tell yourself, fine, maybe I was not a fit. Then a few weeks later, you see it again. Same company, same title, same requirements, even the same empty phrases in the description. Environment, great communication skills, growth mindset. At some point, it starts to feel strange. Is this company hiring? Or is it feeding a job ad that never dies? That is what we are looking at today. It has a name, Ghost Jobs. It sounds like a joke, but if you are looking for work, it does not feel funny. Because you are not just losing a click. You rewrite the resume. You adjust the cover letter. You fill out the same boxes again. Work history, education, skills, salary expectations. Then you wait. And if you are unlucky, you even get pulled into an interview. You prepare like there is a real finish line. Only later do you begin to wonder if the finish line was ever there. Now, to be fair, not every job that stays online for a long time is fake. Some companies really are always hiring. Some jobs have high turnover. Some hiring teams are slow. Some postings are old because nobody cleaned up the system. That happens. But the strange part is this. There are postings that look like opportunities. Candidates get pulled in. Resumes get collected. The market sees a signal. But the company is not actually trying to fill that seat right now. At that point, the job ad is no longer just a job ad. It becomes a prop, a sign taped to the front door. The sign says, we are hiring. But behind the door, there may be no one waiting. In 2024, ResumeBuilder surveyed more than 1,600 hiring managers. The number that made people stop was this. 40% of companies said they had posted fake job listings in the past year. 30% said they currently had fake listings online. And among the companies that had posted fake jobs, many said they still contacted candidates. Some even interviewed them. That is the part that makes ghost jobs so nasty. They do not always look fake. They may have a real company page, a real salary range, a real recruiter, a real interview calendar. Sometimes there is even a real person on the call asking you serious questions. So you think you are entering a hiring process, but you may actually be entering a market test. So why would a company do this? The first reason is simple. They want resumes, not necessarily because they want you now, because they want to know what is out there, who is looking, who is willing to move, who has the skills, who might accept less. To you, a resume is a piece of your life. To a company, it can become one more record in a database. You are writing experience. They are looking at inventory. The second reason is image. Sometimes a company keeps jobs online because it wants to look like it is growing. We are still hiring. We are still expanding. We still have budget. Who is that sentence for? Maybe investors. Maybe customers. Maybe the people already inside the company. The team is exhausted. Everyone is doing too much. Someone asks, when are we getting help? And management says, we are hiring. The job post stays online. It becomes a little patch of hope on the wall. But hope on the wall does not reduce anyone's workload. The third reason is uglier. It can remind employees that they are replaceable. You want a raise? You think the company cannot run without you? Look outside. There are people lined up. The company may not need to hire any of them. It only needs you to believe the line exists. In that case, the job ad becomes a management tool, not a bridge to a new worker, a warning to the current one. The fourth reason is price discovery. Companies also want to know what the market costs. So they post a role and watch. How many people apply? What salaries do they ask for? What experience shows up at what price? You think you are applying for a chance. They may be using your expectations to measure the market. It is like someone walking through a market asking every seller for a price. But not because they plan to buy. They just want to know how low the price might go. There is also the old internal candidate problem. Sometimes the role is already meant for someone. but the company still has to post it. So it looks open. It looks fair. It looks like everyone had a chance. But the chair may already have a name on it. Everyone else is walking through a ceremony. From the outside, the job looks like a door. But behind the door is a wall. For job seekers, the painful part is not just rejection. Rejection is at least an answer. Ghost jobs do something worse. They leave you with no answer. You do not know if your resume was bad. You do not know if the role was real. You do not know if the company paused hiring. You do not know if the interview went wrong. You only know the job is still online. It is like a light left on in a hallway. You walk toward it. Then you realize there may be no hallway. Greenhouse's 2024 job hunting report also picked up this feeling. 60% of job seekers said they had applied to a job they suspected was fake. Among Gen Z job seekers, the number was even higher. That tells us something important. People are not stupid. They can feel when something is off. They just cannot prove it. And that is where the trap sits. You suspect the job is fake, but you still apply. Because what if it is real? What if this is the one? What if skipping it costs you a chance? Ghost jobs do not rely on your stupidity. They rely on uncertainty. The company pays almost nothing to leave a posting online, but you pay with time, attention, hope, and sometimes dignity. That is the imbalance. One side posts. The other side is a person. And this creates a bigger illusion. You open a job site and see pages and pages of openings. It looks like the market is alive. Companies are hiring. Opportunities are everywhere. Then you apply to 20, 50, 100. No response. And eventually the doubt turns inward. Maybe I am not good enough. Maybe my skills are obsolete. Maybe this industry is done with me. But some of those jobs may never have been real opportunities in the first place. They are noise inside the market. And the worst thing about ghost jobs is that they mix fake doors with real doors. So you cannot easily tell which one is worth knocking on. They also pollute the picture for everyone else. Investors see job postings and assume growth. Workers see job postings and assume help is coming. Job seekers see job postings and assume there are opportunities. Platforms see active listings and assume the market is healthy. Everyone sees motion, but motion is not the same as hiring. That is the turn in this story. A job ad was supposed to help a company and a person find each other. But once it becomes a signal, a database funnel, or a pressure tool, it can do the opposite. It can pull real people away from real opportunities. So what can you actually do? First, do not only ask whether the job is online, ask whether it looks alive. Has the posting changed? Was it reposted every few weeks with the exact same wording? Are the requirements so broad that no real human could fit them cleanly? Is the salary vague? Is there any sign that someone is actively moving the process? None of this proves the job is fake, but it tells you how much emotion to spend on it. Second, check the company site. If a job board has the role, but the company's own career page does not, be careful. A job board is an advertising surface. The company site is usually closer to the front door. Third, look for a real person. Online applications are an entrance. They are not the whole building. If you can, find the recruiter. Find someone on the team. Find a former employee. Ask a plain question. Is this role still actively hiring? That sentence is not fancy, but it can save you days of false hope. Fourth, set a stop-loss rule for your job search. If a posting has no real contact, no clear timeline, no company site match, and no response after a reasonable time, do not build your week around it. You can apply, but do not rewrite your entire life for it. Do not pause other opportunities for it. Do not let a silent job ad decide how you feel about yourself. Job searching is hard enough. You do not need to